Today's review is brought to you by Entertainment Earth. Shop entertainmentearth.com and bring Hollywood home. Hey everybody, and welcome to another actionfeatures.net video spotlight. I'm saying this is a video spotlight because this is another one of those quick reviews. Entertainment Earth was nice enough to send over another early review sample for us. They just sent us the Astromech Droid set that's not even out yet, comes out in November. They contacted us right after that review went up and said, hey, there's another exclusive coming out. We haven't even announced it at the point they emailed me. And so we'd like to know if you'd like an early sample of it. I said, sure, I'd love to review it. And this time I'm really excited because it's part of the 6-inch line, the Black Series line. The last one was part of the 3 3/4 line, but this exclusive is for the 6-inch Black Series line. And it is a 4-pack of Phase 2 clone troopers in different colors, so different battalions. This is, I think, the third, 4-pack of Black Series that has hit. There was the first Entertainment Earth exclusive that we looked at on the site here before. There was a Trooper pack at Amazon. But now this is the next one, and this is my personal favorite of the three so far because it's this Phase 2 Clone Trooper, which I think is a really neat design and something that you don't see in the Black Series line a lot at this point. You've only seen one Phase 2 clone, if I'm not mistaken, and that was in one of those 4-packs. And people have been wanting the Phase 2 clone in the real main line, so this is really cool to get 4 different ones all in one set. It's a great Army Builder set. So the box right off the bat is different. Oh, I want to say too, to thank you to Entertainment Earth for sending this over early. Again, this will be in stock, I think, there in November. You could place a pre-order. There's a link in the info section if you want to go over and place the pre-order. But this was really cool that they sent over this early sample of it. Okay, so the box. You get a shot of the clone troopers on the front, and then some of the drop ships up top. Republic gunships, whatever you want to call those. And then there's a sticker down here for the Entertainment Earth exclusive, and I started to peel that up, and I don't think there's anything underneath that. Then the side of the box lists which battalion troopers are inside the set in different languages. It's that same black and red motif that we've had for the Black Series for a little bit now. The cool thing about this pack is it's different than the other 2 4-packs so far. If you saw the 4-pack review of the Entertainment Earth version for the last time, it was one long box. The Amazon version was a box that kind of folded up and Velcroed in on itself. This one is more like that one, but it also has this cool slipcase thing on it. It reminds me of old like VHS box sets. So it's got this slipcase that holds it all together from flopping around. I don't know if that Velcro thing worked out as well as they hoped it did on the Amazon pack. But then these all kind of just fold out like this. And you could, I'm sure, flatten this out over time if you wanted to have it more like the Entertainment Earth first set. They want to go like this right now because they've been stuck inside that box. But each one is almost like an individual figure package where you've got the name and the different coloring name on the side where it's kind of a grayish on black with the red lettering, the red background, pictures of all the characters, little thing on the side here telling what figure you've got, and then the back of each package explains each figure. I really like, I'm not going to read all these. If you want to hit actionfeatures.net, once the review's done, I'll put a little gallery up, and that'll be linked on the info section on YouTube as well, if you want to read all these little write-ups. I really, really like this slipcase package. You know, when I got it out of the box, this slipcase thing was stuck behind in the box. And so I pulled it out, it was just this, and I looked inside and saw that slipcase down in the box. I guess I'd accidentally pulled this out of it when I pulled it out. And then I couldn't remember for sure if it was like this, or if it had the red facing out, like I just had out a second ago, I think. But either way, it looks cool. You can have it like this, or you can take them out and have them like this. I've always been a big fan of the Black Series packaging too, so how you can take stuff out and then put it back in if you wanted to. Now these, my set is not actually taped along the top, and that could just be because this is an early sample. This may actually be taped into this slipcase, and all these might be taped when the final product comes out. I don't know. For now though, mine is not got any tape that is keeping that slipcase in or keeping the inner boxes closed. Alright, so that's enough about the packaging. Let's get those guys out. Okay, we got these guys out of the box now. I'm just going to start this off by saying this set is awesome. It's really cool. Getting these guys out reminds me of how great the Black Series line can be. When the sculpts are really nice, and the paintwork's really nice, and the articulation's done the right way, they can be really, really stellar figures, and I think all 4 of these are stellar figures. It starts off with a great body mold to begin with. That Clone Trooper body mold, for me, has been one of the best of all the sculpts in the 6-inch line. It's really well sculpted, the articulation is well hidden, the body proportions are really nice, it just all works really well. And I like it. A lot of people say that the Phase 2 Clone Trooper helmet's maybe a little bit wide, but I don't see that. I think it looks really sharp. Maybe I'm just not enough of an expert on Clone Trooper armor, but to me, I love this entire mold. I think it's great. Let's talk about the articulation real quick here first, since that's the same on all figures. And we'll take the Shock Trooper. Well, he's not called the Shock Trooper on this, but we'll take this guy out, the Coruscant Guard. So we've got, make sure we're not pulled back too far. Yeah, we're good. They've got ankle joints that hinge up and down, and they're also on a rocker ball, so you can get a lot of cool posing out of that rocker ankle joint. It's being used more and more on figures now, but I still am amazed by how well it works. He's got the double knee joint, one at the top and the one at the bottom. He's got the swivel at the hip at the top where the armor goes into the black undersuit. And that works so well in these armored figures to be able to do that joint there. You don't get an ugly cut in the hip when it's an actual armor piece over another underlaying piece of the outfit. I think it just works really well. And then that hip hinges out and then also swivels up and down. We've got a ball jointed torso. The shoulders hinge out and then swivel up and down. He's got this armor piece over the shoulder, so you get a little bit of restriction, but not much at all. I mean, you can just feel it hitting, but it doesn't really stop you from swiveling at the bicep. You get a little bit of trouble when you try to lift this arm up out to the side, but it's not really that hindered to be able to do the poses you want to do, because it is mounted separately, so it can kind of pull up over that armor if you need it to, and this swivels underneath it. So he's got that upper bicep swivel, and then he's got a double jointed elbow. His wrists swivel, and then the left wrist hinges in and out, and the right wrist hinges up and down for great gun posing. And then I don't think I mentioned it, but he's got the ball jointed head underneath, or the helmet, whatever you're going to call it. And that one's a little tight. It's a little tough to make that work with the way the helmet is made, because it's got a small ridge along the bottom, so he doesn't get a ton of movement at the head. But overall, a really well articulated figure. Pull this guy off so I can put his gun back in his hand. As far as accessories go, 3 of them come with the standard Clone Trooper blaster, whereas the Coruscant Guard has the long Clone Trooper rifle. All those are weapons we've seen before, and sometimes I believe the clone characters would come with both weapons, but in this case, each one just comes with 1 gun, 3 of the small one, 1 of the larger one. And that's fine. I mean, the way these figures are made, he's not going to be holding, none of them are going to be holding both guns at once anyway. You can always mix and match if you wanted one of them to have the longer one and one of them to have the shorter one. But either way, they're only going to hold 1 gun at a time. So there's that. Okay, as far as the figures themselves go, we're looking at the same sculpt across all 4 of them. So there's not a lot I can tell you about each one, how unique they are or how different they are, because it's basically the same figure, just with different paint schemes. But those paint schemes are so nice. This is some of the nicest paintwork in the entire Black Series line, in my opinion, and definitely the nicest for me when it came to the armored characters. I think like the weathering and stuff can get a little gloppy sometimes on figures. You can go overboard. I think the Sand Troopers got a little overboard in some cases, but these are just perfect. We've got I'm going to name off each battalion here. We've got the 442nd Siege Battalion Clone Trooper. That's the green one here. Then we've got the 212th Attack Battalion Utapau Trooper. This is Obi-Wan's troopers here. And then we've got what they call the Coruscant Guard Phase 2, which I believe used to be called just a Shock Trooper before they started calling the Battlefront Shock Trooper the Shock Trooper. I could be wrong, but I remember him being called Shock Trooper before. And then we've got, last but definitely not least, the 501st Legion Clone Trooper in blue, which are Anakin's troopers. So all paint jobs are really sharp. They're really well, the brightness of each color is really, really nice. But where it really, really shines is in all the little tiny weathering. We've got little gray spots here and there, little nicks on the armor where the white's shining through. It's just really sharp. And like for I'm going to keep calling him Shock Trooper, I'm sorry. But for the Coruscant Guard, his armor is a little bit different than the rest in that his shins are molded in red plastic instead of being molded in white plastic like some of these others are. And his detailing is then put on in white, where it's scratched off and the white's underneath it. I love the way it looks. It's such a cool attention to detail where it doesn't even look like, that this is a white paint app. It really does look like it's scratched away and there's white underneath it. Same with the shoulder pauldrons, or not pauldrons, but the shoulder armor where it's cast in red and then it's been put white over it to give it a look that's scratched away and there's white underneath. I can't get over these paint jobs. I mean, they're really, really great. Like I said, there'll be a small gallery linked in the info section for you to get a better look at the paint jobs on all 4 of them. but I don't know if pictures will even do it justice. You got to get up close to these guys and really see all the little detailing in that armor. Like this blue covering here has got both white and a little bit of gray, where it's scratched through and then it's got a little gray damage. Man, killer paint jobs on this set. Really, really great. As far as issues with the figures, I had no issues. All the articulation worked really well. There was no glop on the paint. It's just a really, really nice set. I know I keep saying that, but I can't stress to you enough that this is one of the best efforts I've seen from the Black Series in a while, and it's a really solid set. Now the price on this is going to be $100, and that includes shipping to the U.S. And some people are complaining about that, saying, "Oh, it's just 4 repaints. That's kind of crazy." We've gone over this before, but I'm going to have to say it again. Black Series figures are retailing at about $22 a piece. Sometimes you can find a sale, sometimes stores sell them for $20, but really the retail of the line for a while now has been $21.99. $22 a figure, that would be, 4 figures would be $88. If you then shipped them from somewhere and had to pay that $10 or something shipping, then you're paying $100 for 4 figures. So that's about what this is. There's also the fact that this is a more limited run than anything you'd find in a store. They don't make as many of these exclusives as they do regular store-run figures. So the lower numbers means that a higher cost is incurred to produce it, because the lower the number of the stuff you make, the less you can break the cost across multiple units. So exclusives are always going to be more expensive than a standard release figure. In my opinion, 25 is right on the money. And once you actually have this set in hand, you're going to go, wow, these are great. I feel like I got my money's worth, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Now, there is something to be said to the fact that some people may like certain battalions more than others. This is a great pack for army builders because you get 4 army builders straight out. There's no worrying about getting one figure that you're just going to keep getting again and again, like that Black R2 unit was. I feel like that last set, that was an army builder set, the Black R2 unit was the odd one out, or the TIE Fighter pilot was the odd one out. Whereas this one, you're just going to keep building this Phase 2 army. As I said earlier in the video, it's tough to build a Phase 2 army right now without, buying a multi-pack. You can't just go buy Phase 2 clone troopers. I'm sure they'll do a single card eventually of just a regular white Phase 2 clone, but this is a great way to build the army of all the multicolored clones, which you saw a lot of in Revenge of the Sith. As far as my favorites go in the set, since it's all the same figure, that's a little tougher to say. I think that everybody previously that has talked about building clone trooper armies has always favored this red one and this blue one, the 501st and the Emperor's guys. So I have a feeling these two, if the set gets bought separate and broken up, will be the higher priced pieces, and these two will be the lower priced pieces. That's not to say these figures aren't great. They're really solid. I just think that these two characters in Episode 3 are more popular than these two troopers. So you might see a lot of these guys being priced higher online if you're going to buy them separate than these two. But why do that? Just go buy the set. It's a cool set. Okay, once again, thank you to EntertainmentEarth.com for sending this set over. It's really great. If you want to order it, you hit the info section if you're watching this on YouTube for a link to pre-order your set. Again, it ships in November. Check out the gallery in the info section. Hit the subscribe button if you want to check out more of our videos. And we'll sign off on this one and see you guys next time.